Most people have a trash barrel out, and they have a recycling bin. I don't see very few people with 5 barrels or 4 barrels.
Too.
So we generally have a very good compliance rate to take it from a mandatory 3 barrels or 4 barrels max to 3 to 2. To gather that information probably be more useful before we do it. But and from a contractual standpoint, typically that's one less trash truck to pick up the trash, one more recycling truck. So for the contractual purpose, it's the same amount of money for JRM, just less stuff going to ultimate disposal. That's just on my to-do list, Jeff, just to go out and do that. I just haven't had time. I asked Ed McGrath was going to do it, and
Right.
I've lost and shuffle where he is.
Well, I think they discussed it. I came in late to the meeting the other night, and
I thought.
Don't forget it.
it happens. Yeah, I understand that. I think Ed McGrath is going to do that.
Yeah, I hadn't heard. Is he?
That was
Out of his other
the
job.
last meeting. But they've gotten a little bit distracted on some other issues, but I believe that he is going to do that. I came in late at the meeting because I was at another meeting, but they're pretty interested in doing that. And the other thing that they talked about was the recycling bins being next to the trash barrels. I don't recall us saying that we would not, as a board, would not go contrary to the idea of not picking up trash if there was no recycling. I thought we as a board decided that if there was no recycling bin with the trash, that JRM is instructed not to pick up the trash.
I don't recall that.
I don't recall that either.
I'm not even so sure I would vote in favor of that.
Same.
But yeah.
I mean that's the rule that we have in place, that you have to have a recycling bin with your trash.
Right.
And there was a discussion that we had when we implemented it. And my recollection is that we were talking about, do we want them to go look into the barrels and to see what it is? That was all that type of conversation. But I thought we went with the idea that if they didn't put it out, they wouldn't pick it up.
Well, let me put it this way. I take my mother's recycling every Sunday from her. So all that's going to go out is the trash.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure it's not going to get picked up just because she handled it in another appropriate manner.
The guy driving the truck,
So I mean, we have to be careful.
the gentleman driving
I'm
the truck,
not
all he knows is
suggesting
it's not
something.
there.
That's what I thought we did.
That's all. That's why I don't think we bought into that whole deal.
That's why I suggested the survey to actually see who was actually that kind of situation. That's probably, from what I've seen around town, far few between.
Right.
Yeah,
All right,
Not like she has 25 barrels and no recycling.
Right. That's a different issue.
Right.
She's got maybe one bag. Right?
All right, we're in agreement that we're going to allow the contract to be extended.
Yes.
We move on, look at the time. You're all done?
I'm done.
Mr. O'Leary.
Oh, Mr. O'Leary reminds me that the ALS program did go in, and we did have a contract signed with Leahy. I think it was reported a few weeks ago that there was some problem getting that agreement negotiated. That agreement was negotiated and signed shortly after our last meeting.
Yeah, and they had already, at the end
Several-
of when we met, they had done
several
6 or
runs.
7 calls.
Right.
That was a week ago.
They actually had a very
Yeah.
busy day last week.
Yeah, so it's great.
They're up and running.
There were, the chief was in here, was concerned about even getting a hospital to sign on with us in the last
Oh, yeah.
meeting.
We got it.
And
Yeah,
fortunately, they were able to negotiate something with Leahy and
Yeah.
they're up and running, and that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
And they've been going ever since.
Yeah.
Busy as ever. There were 2 RFPs submitted on the Hillview Restaurant Function Hall.
Just 2.
2. And there was a lot of interest, but only 2 came in as of last week, and the commission has them, and they're reviewing those. They'll make a recommendation to me after their meeting Wednesday night.
Do we know who they are?
On top of that.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
It's incumbent Mr. Page and Pat Lee, who was prior to the motion.
Is there a possibility that may not be awarded to anyone?
Well, no, we need to do something.
No,
Sure.
No, but there was somebody came in late.
Right.
That's been disqualified.
The
Right,
proposal
okay.
was disqualified, but a look was, they looked it over, it wasn't complete either, so.
Yeah, they had 3 months to get
Even
it.
if they,
Late
they
and
were half an
incomplete
hour
is not a
late,
good
but
start.
even if they were in on time,
Hmm.
it probably would not have taken a lot of consideration based on what was in the plan. Yes,
Thank you. Anything else?
that was his.
That was
No,
me.
I'm sorry.
That was me.
That was his. Just a couple of things. One, the 4th of July committee, again, is planning another event, a Cinco de Mayo party at Kitty's on May 5th, which is a Saturday. I would urge people to go and participate and help raise some funds for their efforts to bring back the 4th of July here in town. It's going to be Kitty's on the 5th of May, a Saturday night. And once again, they're going to be doing just one evening for the 4th of July.
I heard from noon to the fireworks in the evening.
So, once again, they're working hard, trying to raise sufficient funds to help bring this back. Again, there is a website, www.nrbringbackthefourth.org. So, tap into it, support their efforts, and let's bring it back. The other thing that I would like to bring up is passing this past week of Bob Brooks, who was a longtime employee of the town, longtime resident, lifelong resident of the town. Worked for the DPW for a number of years, and one thing about Bob is always greeted with a smile. Good, hardworking individual. Passed away this week. So, my condolences should go out to Bob's family, and once again, thank him again for his services. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Michael.
No, I just want to. I'm sure a lot of you read the article in the Boston Globe about the little school students about their technology award they won through Toshiba. And
We're going to Washington.
yeah, it's just I think that's really amazing. I read the article and I read what they came up with as a concept, and I just want to congratulate them on that fantastic dude. It's Sarah Hatton, Blake Miller, Megan Kerry, and Brian Heffernan. So congratulations to them.
Did you get the name of their teacher that was the coordinator?
I have it. I
Don't
didn't
say
bring it with
to
me,
them.
but I can get it.
That's it? Sean?
I know a few months ago we started to do a trash exemption. I don't believe we finalized that, to my recollection.
Well, this is the first reading,
I
is
think
what
we
it
only
was.
had a first reading. I don't think we ever had a second
We
reading
didn't.
of it.
Remember that night we actually had a debate about whether this was the first or second. We all agreed it was
Yeah.
the first reading.
Bring it back next meeting.
Just a couple of brief things. There is a candidates forum, whoever's still watching, tomorrow evening, Mr. O'Leary and
That's the
Ms.
one
Barker
that's
and
here.
Mr. Bodie at 7:30 here, sponsored by the League of Women Voters. And I know there's others, I guess later this week that just heard about tonight. But I encourage people to come down, and it's your opportunity to.
Where's the
Look-see.
patch one?
Here.
Neil? Here too?
This Thursday evening, 6:15. Correct, 6:15. It will be broadcast on live from North Care.
That's not a public though, right? That's
But-
just, but it's only on TV, not here. You people,
So it's here, but it's on television.
yeah, but people are not encouraged to come here.
Ashley's going to be grilling us.
Okay. On Friday the 13th, I had my first town office hours. It was a tax relief education program. It was an intimate gathering, I may say, but there was 7 of our veterans in town who showed up and got some information on tax relief programs. I want to extend my thank you to our assessor, Deb Carboni, and her staff for providing the information materials. Deb was here. In addition there too, Karen Marlin came in, spoke about the work credit program that's available. I haven't set my time for May yet, but I will by our meeting next week, and hopefully more people will attend and get information on how our seniors can get some tax relief. And other than that, Jeff, it had come up at our last meeting, and I had sent you a couple of emails regarding a legal opinion you had requested regarding this board's authority over the Water Commission. And I know you've probably been busy. I just haven't got a response from you as to one, the reason why you request it, and two, what the legal opinion is. I'm concerned that there may be a legal opinion out there that this board should be aware of if it's involving them.
Well, it turned out that it basically, what I was trying to identify was, as you know, Dick was coming up with the rules for recycling, not recycling, but for water use, and it brought to my mind, and I thought, well, what authority do we have? And so I was concerned about Article 2, 191.6, which which basically says the Board of Selectmen may amend or adopt rules and regulations relating to procedures and administration. And then I came into Article 3, 191.14a, which is that the commission shall adopt, and that's where I was trying to figure out, adopt rules and regulations pertaining to the distribution and use of water, versus the article where they advise on the water rates. This was that they could adopt rules and regulations, and I was wondering if they could do that without the approval of the Board of Selectmen. And the answer that I got was no, they can adopt it, but it would still have to come through the Board of Selectmen. So it was a non-issue at that point to me. So I don't know if that answers your question or not.
It does. I just thought we had a process in terms of seeking legal opinion. I think it either had to go through the chair or go through the town administrator before a member and ask for a legal opinion. I was concerned about that, and also I'm concerned if there's any legal opinion that involves the board, that the board should be made aware of whatever it is.
It's never been brought to my attention that process was in place, and I've been here for 3 years. And if I ever had a question, I felt that I had every right as a selectman to ask an opinion. I don't know that anybody on this board needs permission to ask a question.
I believe that's been in place.
Because it costs money.
Yeah,
But
it was put in place a long time ago.
Quite a long time ago.
Because it was out of control.
We had a board that was rather inquisitive and also rather divided on a whole host of issues. Whereby town council was being called by everybody, and the costs associated with that were running up into the tens of thousands of dollars.
I think
the practice of requesting opinions was always, since that time, has been run through the chair and or the town administrator, so that there could be some controlling of information that was being requested, so that everybody would get the same answer back, and also the costs of controlling it. Whereas if the chairman didn't feel it was an appropriate thing, the board would then get a consensus or take a vote on whether or not to seek the opinion.
right. And if a selectman, this is my last
Most
month.
of the time.
This is my last month.
And
but I mean-
99 times
but
out of 100, if a member of the board was seeking an opinion of town council that couldn't be answered by the administrator satisfactorily, the opinion was asked.
But if I may play off of that for a minute here, because I would think that each selectman, even if you give an answer that in your perspective or the chair's or the TA's perspective is the right answer, if any member of this board doubts that or is not convinced of that, I can't see how you would handcuff a selectman by saying he can't go to legal counsel.
Because at $125 an hour.
I understand that. I understand that. If there's an abuse, then you got to deal with the abuse. But that's a different conversation.
But the other thing is, so in this particular case, like if the Water Commission, as a board, were looking for some sort of guidance as to whether or not they had a jurisdiction or something like that, that would be a legitimate thing to run through the administration. You just find out, here's what the general law says. It appears as though not as vested with this appointed board as opposed to this board, you get an answer. Again, you'll get the answer.
I had a question, and so I just.
Anything else?
It's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you done?
That was what it was.
Okay. On a positive note, and Mike had a nice positive note about the little school there, and I read that article too, and that was pretty impressive. And that kind of tells you something. We're going to